you want to create more demand for your brand? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 steps to make that happen. My name is Kate Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist, and I help entrepreneurs like you discover their innate brand advantage so they can scale their business. Before we get into the 4 steps, let me first give you a quick definition of what I think an in-demand brand is. Now, when we think of a traditional physical product, say like a handbag or a purse, one becomes very in demand if it has an awesome brand and say like a celebrity is seen wearing it, and then it flies off the shelf of Bloomingdale's. People are literally like waiting in line to get their bag and they're willing to pay a premium. So if we translate this into, say, a service-based brand like a coach, consultant, course creator, that type of thing, or any other business, it's exactly that. When you have increased demand for your brand, that means that there's more people who want to work with you than you could possibly fit in. And the most significant indicator that you have an in-demand brand is that you are the one that's being pursued. You're not chasing down your ideal clients, they're finding you. They understand the value that you bring and they want it. This creates a very particular shift of power. So instead of the power being with the person who's giving you money to do the service, it shifts some of the power back in your court because you get to decide exactly who you want to work with and you get to charge the rates that you want to charge. I think we can all agree that that's a good place to be. So let's talk about how you specifically can build more demand for your brand. First step might sound kind of counterintuitive because we're trying to influence other people, but it's so crucial that you first know yourself. So take the time to define your brand personality, your values, your mission, your vision, all of the things that are going to set you apart from your competition. These are also the things that attach your product or service to something that's bigger than what you're selling. It's not just the product or not just say like copywriting or Instagram management. When you can attach what you're selling to a bigger mission, to something that's bigger than your product, you get to add in more psychological demand than if you're just selling the benefits and features of your product. Step number 2 of building an in-demand brand is to translate what you've discovered to be true about yourself and translate it into outward-facing cues. I always like to say, build your brand on truth, not trends. And this is the key translation process to make that happen. So after we've done the work to figure out exactly who we are and what we stand for, you have to then translate that truth into design decisions, content that you're producing on social media, your website or email, wherever you're showing up, and then also your messaging. So things like taglines, slogans, headlines, and even down to the specific words that you're choosing. Make sure all of that is being born out of the truth that you've discovered about yourself in step 1. Step number 3 is to get strategically visible. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, did it really happen? Or if we're talking about a brand, does a brand exist if it never comes into contact with somebody who can buy into it? And the answer is no. Your brand exists in the relationship that you have with your ideal clients. It can't just exist in your head. You have to get visible so people start to build a relationship with your brand. So you don't want to be everywhere because you'll spread yourself too thin, but pick the places, the platforms that are going to get you in front of your ideal clients and to focus on doing that consistently. And the last step to this process, step number 4, is to offer things that people want to buy. You might know what people need to buy from you because you're an expert in your area, but that may not be the same thing that people want to buy. So It becomes much easier to become an in-demand brand if you're offering products or services that people already desire. And I know this sounds obvious, but it is the biggest mistake that a lot of brands make. And the way to get at this information is to listen. Become a voracious researcher of your ideal clients. Put out surveys, ask them questions, have conversations, and listen to the words that your clients are using to explain their problems and desires. Figure out the exact and specific reality that your ideal clients are living in now so that you can speak directly to that and offer the transformation that your product or service gives them. So if you follow these 4 steps, know yourself, translate it into outward-facing cues, get strategically visible, and to offer things that people want, you can become the next it brand. If you found this useful, be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell. It'll tell you every time I post a new educational video about psychology-driven brand building. So happy that you're here. Leave me a comment. Let me know which of the 4 steps you're going to focus on next.